Hello. It's time for one of the entry for the day. This is James's video diary. Today is May 24th, 2026. I'm doing very well, relatively. Over the last week or so, I've ended up Polarity burning up another CB. I'm up to 2, but since they've both been used, it's been relatively inexpensive for me. I'm making progress. I got rid of my town car this week, so I now I got to shower and get ready to go. Get ready for my truck to get work done tomorrow. As soon as the work is complete, I'm going to end up taking off for Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm moving forward in my life. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. A lot of my past has been coming up. Cars of the last girls I chased that I've had, where I last locked into that. I've seen a lot of that. Seen a lot of lottery stuff going on. Had a weird encounter in Pennsylvania, North Midway. The last time I was there. I'm getting a new wardrobe, piece by piece. Now I have to sort it out. I just sorted out my truck with a lot of my tools and parts to separate them, so that it makes it a lot easier for me when I need to get something. It's not going to be scatterbrained the way it is now, or it was before I started organizing and putting my parts in one place, my tools in another. That way it's not a mixed bag of kind of a chaos. I'm going to have to start working with my clothes and start to do that, and start putting away my winter gear. Because it is summer. Working on getting some summer gear. I had to get some shorts because I suffered a little bit of heat stroke. I'm having an issue where I'm going to have to start exercising more. I'm eating my feelings and I'm gaining weight. I'm also falling way out of shape. You can probably tell I'm eating better. I'm still living in a semi. I'm down to 2 private debts. All of my public debt is gone. I'm dealing with a few scam calls here and there, but nothing too bad. I got the feeling before too long I'm going to get a place to live, and I can get away from the P.O. box. Not that it's been a bad experience. It's been an interesting thing. I've learned that I'm following behavior. And once I learned that I could trust my gut and pull myself out of my own Kool-Aid, pull myself out of the marketing of the people around me, and examine the evidence, and believe people when they show me who they are, including me. That's part of the reason I'm single right now. I've been single for the better part of 10 years, 8 to 10 years. Because it's not that I don't chase, it's not that I haven't been offered. I get offered and I end up asking questions that are adult questions. And it's not sexual, it's more of a, do you want kids? Because, well, I've been in a position where kids ain't in my future. They would have been in my future in my late teens and early 20s. Once child support took over and I couldn't win, no matter what happened, and people who should be on my side were working for the enemy, for my opposition, for my baby mama. I had to walk away from them. I had to walk away from everything I built. I've refused $1 million opportunities more than once. I've refused hitmen that have approached me and volunteered. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not that I don't want vengeance. I do. I'd rather have justice. Part of that vengeance is justice. I'd want them to know that what they've done to me, I want to do to them. And I want them to know it was me. I'm coming to peace with that. I'm finding that my peace is more important than the drama that comes from trying to sort people so that they can use me once they figure out what I am and what kind of resource I can be. I've seen that with more than a few people recently. That once they know what kind of resource I can be to them, they find me like an ATM. And that's part of the reason I'm where I'm at. That's part of how I'm moving forward. With that in a thought, it's not because I'm not going to use people as a resource. It's because I think of them as a person and a resource. And I think of how can I best put them in a position that don't push me into a way where I have no choice but either to walk away or go direct action. Because once the bow breaks with direct action, it's going to make the worst nightmares of my life come true. You know, my anger lets loose and has the outlet of being able to use it that way. Use the skills, use what I was taught as a kid when I wanted to be a soldier. That's why I don't have tattoos. Because if I'm doing things in other places and I need to get through security, more tattoos, scars, and other identifying marks I have on me, the slower it's going to be, any easier I'm going to get caught. Now, I haven't done any of that. That doesn't mean the doctrine is wrong. That doesn't mean the guiding principles of watch people's behavior is a bad idea. That's why I don't take involved people. Once I know they're involved, I let it go. I have to. Because if they're doing this with me, what's their partner doing? And there's no way I can control any of that. Do I really want to get sick or dead or caught in the kind of drama that comes from that? I don't want the drama that comes with it. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to have to go to the doctor and say, I thought somebody had another thing, and because of that conversation. And I've had that conversation with the doctor before, saying I need to get tested for STDs. And I'm doing it here rather than at the health department because, well, I want to keep it as private as I possibly can. On the off chance that, if they lied to me about what ended the relationship, what else are they lying to me about? They started the process of me investigating the behavior and looking at what their behavior was versus what they claim it is. Then looking at if I had been in their shoes, is that what I would have done to market the behavior? If the answer is no, then obviously they're lying to me. Well, at the very least, they're not telling the truth. I've had one say, well, I had your back. Well, you might have had my back to the extent that you shut your kid down, but you didn't have my back to the point where I wanted to move forward with you. Because I'm not going to be in a position where I'm supposedly one of the convening authorities. I'm supposed to be covered, and I'm not the most important part of that. Someone else says who's, well, he didn't have a dad. Well, Mom, that wasn't my responsibility. That was yours. And you're trying to get sympathy for someone who is an adult who you did not train to have adult behavior. Just like my daughter when I cut her off. She tried to extort me using grandchildren. Now, I don't know if it was real or imagined. I assume it was real. But I imagine that even if I paid to see that kid, that would set a precedent On top of, I wouldn't be allowed to bring witnesses. Because, well, that means they can use it as leverage. Have me catch a case. Because I'm not paying what they think they deserve for me seeing this kid. And honestly, I didn't see my own kid. The law said that despite the custodial parent violating my civil rights, violating the visitation order multiple times, it wasn't nonviolent domestic violence. It wasn't violating my civil rights. And yeah, it absolutely was. Violating my constitutional civil rights. And the Saginaw County front of the court. I'll just write a letter to say you're sorry. No, that should have been 18 months in Saginaw County Jail for every occurrence. At 3 occurrences, that becomes a pattern according to the FBI. The justice there would have been at 48 months. At 48 and 60 months, she's not a part of that kid's life. She cannot be the custodial parent at that point because obviously she's not doing a very good job. Even in the beginning, it should have been, you're this way and he's this way. Why is he saying no? Well, I'm not saying that, well, if he offered you marriage and you said no to that, that's a choice on your part. He tried to do his best, and you decided his best was not enough for you. Why the fuck do you have a kid with him? Why'd you fuck with him? Why'd you fuck him? I mean, truth. Girls at the bar tried to do this shit to me too. They want this without talking because they want to trap me before I can get in, before I have a say. While I still have a say, they're trying to get me to relinquish my power. And I'm like, no. If you want to be with me, you're going to do it this way. That way I have a say all the way through. That way we also have an active line of communication. And you're not going to create drama. You're not going to incentivize your own murder. You're not going to push me into a position where you give me the mens rea and you see how strong my will is. Because if I commit the actus rea, there is no absolution. There's no kind of apology that grants absolution for that. Like the doctrine, the public doctrine of Delta Force. You know, it's not the fastest, prettiest girl. That's the strongest. It's the person who can live for the job. Who's going to have the greatest longevity of being able to do the job in a way that makes, I mean, the work needs to be done. It's like I need a girlfriend because I need hormones that my body doesn't produce and I don't have access to. I also don't want to pay a whore. Not because I didn't enjoy it when I did that one time. I did it only once and it was enjoyable. I don't have that kind of money, A, and B. How do I explain it to children? How do I explain it to the greater community around me? It's not exactly a publicly, there's no good explanation. Now granted, it was years ago, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it. Just, I've had people come in and they go, well, I'm the one that's in power, I get what I want. I'm like, you play that fucking power trip on me even one time. At the very end, if I ask you something reasonable, if I have to move away from the window so I don't see kids as I'm answering a call of nature, that's kind of, I don't want to show that to children. Should they have been in my front yard at the time? No, they shouldn't have been. The house was foreclosed on me. I had a girl try in there. I'm the one that's important. You got to do it my way because I'm the prize. No. The relationship is the prize. We both put in. And if your body's one of the only things that you have to put in, your body's going to change. And when your body changes, do you want that to be the reason for me to upgrade, kick you out, kick you to the curb, into the relationship? The answer is, you're not going to want to do that if it benefits you. Had a widow that didn't have I got the feeling that she didn't have 3 brain cells. Or 2, the ones she had were fighting for a position that doesn't exist. Living in the past. Look, I feel bad their husband passed. They're still living. And they can be productive both by helping me, and I can be productive by helping them. Whether I have to build a shrine, that's cool. I can understand it. A widow, for me, is someone who said, I carried it to the end. Now I have to be pragmatic and say, well, now I got to not only deal with the consequences of the end of the marriage, and it went naturally. It didn't say, it's just too tough for me. I don't feel like you've hurt my feelings. No, it was the natural end of a marriage that wasn't, it was a natural end. It wasn't produced. For me, I have a weird way, my intelligence makes my articulation kind of a little bit weird. Along with my experience along the road, that everybody says, everybody's got the same experience. No, we didn't. My first one turned into a child support. My first contracted one after that turned into a criminal record. I had it expunged. I mean, honestly, it was more of a breach of contract. You sign on for something that you then change the terms of after I've signed the contract, and I try to get what I was trying to do. I had a married woman try the same thing. She tried it 30 years ago, and I had to assume before she was married that I had to assume she was laying the groundwork. Just one of those things. I have people ask, well, what do you want me to do? Question. What would you think I would do if the situation were reversed? Honestly, if I feel that bad about it, whether it's a car problem, a house problem, a relationship issue, me personally, if I were square enough to know that I could do this and get in and out, I wouldn't be looking for an out, because I know that if there's going to be an out, I mean, one girl I tried chasing about a year ago, Nora, look, man, let's go to a bar. Why don't drink? Yeah, neither do I. But it's the only place that's away from where you work, where we can be adults. We don't have to accept the alcohol. It's just a place of convention, because they don't serve food in a library. We're not going to be able to be in a library. Both of our works, the schedule doesn't make it such a way for us to be productive. We have to find an alternative means of meeting. I've had the issues over the years of, well, you're only going to do it the way I want it, where I want it. And I'm like, if that's the case, I'm going to leave you alone. You're either going to do it the way I need it done, because it gives the appearance of being selfish without being selfish at all. The premise is to teach you not to push the button, to explain to you why the button needs to not be pushed, because, God help me, I was a hunter in my youth. I do know how to disassemble and process animals for eating. I taught myself emergency medicine. I've had to use it over the years on myself, because I've done dumb things and I've gotten hurt. So I'm absolutely certain that once it starts going down that road, I'm very certain that I would enjoy it in the moment, regret it afterward, realize there's no apology, and you really can't have a long-term relationship at that point. I might as well put a fleshlight in a hole in a not hole in a fence. You drill a hole in a tree, you put it in a tombstone. I mean, really? It doesn't give me a partnership. It doesn't provide me the opportunity to be the man. It doesn't provide me the opportunity to want to be a father. It provides me the opportunity to be a very angry person and to deal with someone else's poor behavior. And I really don't want to deal with poor behavior. I don't want to provide poor behavior on my own either. I mean, I wouldn't want to deal with some of the things I've dealt with. And I sure as hell shit wouldn't want to have anyone else deal with really poor shit, poor behavior. That's terrible. Why would I intentionally create drama and discord and disharmony in someone else for harmony in myself? I mean, I see that in so many places nowadays. Why do you think I'm a trucker? I'm a solitary guy most of the time. I've been an auto mechanic. I apprenticed for 4 years building radiators, dealing with air conditioning. I learned how to do vendor relationships, business management, advertising. That's how I ended up when I was being trained to take over auto repair radiator of Midland when it existed. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have a stable source of hormones. I'm someone who has the common sense to not push my buttons, at least in a way that's going to put me I don't want to tempt fate like that. Because once it goes away, you just can't get it back. I've had women where, I want what I was offered 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I had that 2 years. I had the resources that I tried to get with you. I've spent all that time and all those resources only to find out that you're not interested. And you're only interested now because you think I have those resources yet. The resources are spent, the time, the money, it's all gone. The incentive for me is gone. I lost $100,000. Well, it's the last time. Yeah. Last dog was 7 months ago. You should have stepped up. Well, no. Now you've already, I've done one girl, I said, look, I'm just scrolling you because it's fun. I'm just messing with you. I'm not going to touch you. Every time I put the question to you for over 2 years. I got a boyfriend. If you got a boyfriend, then leave me the fuck alone. The only reason I even made contact with you was to try and get something that literally, over time, it proved it wasn't worth it. And if it had saved $100,000 in a way that would have allowed me to keep it, hell yeah, it'd been worth it. Same point. Why do I kill myself to get someone who's literally going to use me like an ATM? Use me like a resource. Wanted to be treated, held to harmless, despite the dumbest shit they've ever done, and that they do. They can't handle Brothers Grimm. They can't look into an object and go, a person, and see some of the darkest things, and say, yeah, we're going to have to clean up this anatomical confetti. Not because it's but because we need to make sure that the remains get to the people who they need to handle that and keep it out of public view, because we don't need children to see that. We don't need children to see adult medical procedures. We don't need them to be groomed for other dubious things that are and have happened. To treat children like adults thing. That was great. It was a soft way of grooming people, grooming society. The thing about gun-free zones sounds great on paper. So you couple that with the fact that it, in the Call of Duty generation, was more of a, this is how you play the game on easy mode and how you rack your total up. Now, whether they did it justice to you or not, you're not going to go like hard mode, like your grandpa. Grandpa your grandma, your great-grandpa, the people in the 30s, 40s, up through the 70s. You know, soldiers deserve soldiers. So you went on hard mode. You learned to deal with your disappointment. You learned the concept, that the equation that I discovered in Gaylord, and I ridiculed the police about, you know, kids aren't adults. They don't have shitty lovers. They don't have taxes. They don't have to feed their kids. They don't understand the equation FUN minus N equals X. X equals FU. And it's a vulgarity without technically being vulgar. And they didn't have the concept of the context. The children didn't. A lot of the administrators got it in their head. Even the policeman did. It's kind of why I got stopped for almost 30 times. That and the fact that I did security walkarounds like it was there was a terrorist cell automatically operating. There wasn't. I had the training, I read the books on training and doctrine and how you would hide it. I've been doing that shit since I was in high school, trying to be the dime store hero. A hero can't be a hero without an adversary. And the adversary has to be able to be better, or at the very least, on par with the hero. Good challenge. Learning angles, learning methods of ingress and egress, non-destructive entry methods, how firearms work, the manual of arms. Because you may have to pick up something that isn't in your conventional. You may have to pick up something that's foreign. You may have to turn the tools of the enemy against the enemy, or at least the opposition. Find the vulnerabilities in security. Part of how I scared people, because I was thinking about that and looking at exits. How many ways in and out? And does that window on the second or third floor, does it have something under it? How, if I go out that window, am I going to land on something soft or something hard? Because I can survive with a broken leg. I can survive with a broken arm. I can survive without arms and legs. I've seen people do it. Yeah, and most people don't have that clue, or how to fight fires. Know how to do what the Marines do. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Do it with whatever is available. You know, you go in and you don't have... You have to problem solve, actively problem solve. Like the librarian taught me. All the way through middle school, from elementary, even into high school. Even if I have the answer, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to show you how to find it. Because if you don't know how to find it, and I don't induct problem-solving skills into you, if I don't get you to be able to follow instructions and build a problem-solving equation in your head, you're never going to be able to solve life's problems. You're never going to be able to grow and build on your skill set, to build auxiliary skill sets, to build, 10 years when I started in junkyard, there are certain things I couldn't take apart and go put back together. 10 years down the road, I could do it in my sleep. Did it way easy. Like this driving thing, I'm kind of sucking at it right now. And the safety bonuses, I'm never going to get one. Not because I'm not safe. It's because, the level of safe for a schoolroom office isn't the same as a road safe. I mean, they call me for incidents they caught on the dash cam. It's not the incident they didn't catch. It wasn't on the dash cam. It still did take place. I mean, true. Scary ass shit. Didn't even know anything happened until I heard the horn. Because the car was black. It was a black road. No headlights. I couldn't see shit. In a rainstorm. The big truck, you can't see that. Hell, half the time, it's not about what you can see. It's about what can see you. On the road. The other part's backing up. Having common sense problem solving skills. Because you're going to have problems. And you're going to want to make your job hard or easy. And I want to make it easy. It's not because I can't do hard. I can. I can do leadership too. It's like when I worked at McDonald's. As a part-time crewman, I was teaching managers, both shift, general, and regional managers, how to operate. Teaching them that the shift managers, the guys on duty, can't put their feet up like the CEO. You're a manager. You're basically a sergeant leading a bunch of lower enlisted. Even as a general manager, you're just a higher sergeant. You have to be able to not put your feet up. You have to be able to train your managers, your subordinate managers, to know how, so that they can transition in and out of the team. You have to make the work fun. When somebody says, I don't like hot water, you got to say, yeah, I don't like hot water either. That being said, I do like success. And I like doing the work fast, because the faster I get the work done, the less work is there. Less work is there, the more time I have to do other things. Now, me personally, I ended up cleaning, but I ended up doing a lot of cleaning. I ended up working in a position and working them around to turn a 6-month turnaround, a 24-week turnaround on the freezers, to a 4-day turnaround. That's 140-something days difference. When they offered me something, the franchisee, Frank there, said, all I want to do is propagate your business. Because the things I wanted, I knew Frank couldn't offer me. 1, he's a man. 2, if you had any clue about who I am or what I've been asking for, you'd realize money isn't going to do it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't need money. I'm not saying that it's not a great thing. What I'm saying is that a partnership cannot be, if your partnership is based on money, then your allegiance is subject to change. Money changes everything at that point. I don't know. I see that a lot. The old timers are right. And I'm moving forward. I just don't know how to get out of it. I don't know how to move forward. I was betrayed by my own people. Multiple times. They tried treating me as a resource. And when the resource just ran out and I needed things, I don't want to. Oh, I could have done that. No shit, Sherlock. Why the fuck do you think I asked you? Why do you think I didn't ask the guy I knew would say no? I mean, you can't have quota people at this point. You do, and you know. These are ears. These are not taxi doors. Comment section's a good way to go. I'm grateful you've been with me this far. I'm really sorry about the rant being a little long. Appreciate it.